Hello everyone, this is Darren with SimNation. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deeper into the War Room and Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2026. Our undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers are matching up against the 6-8 New York Giants led by DWK, and we cannot take this trap game very lightly. Normally I would not do a video against a human opponent, but I've been asked to by a couple people because WWPF is filling up with humans. It's going to get harder and harder for me to give you these type of videos without doing this. Um, the game plan I'm going to talk about today is not the one I'm probably going to use against DWK. One, I'd be kind of stupid to telegraph myself to DWK because he is a really solid coach and he would make the most of it. But the second point is um, I think I have a way to help shut down DWK's offense, and I don't want to share that with everyone. I'm going to treat New York like they are a CPU. So just keep that in the back of your mind as I go through this. And without further ado, let's jump right in. So we pulled the scouting reports, I've crunched the numbers, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build a game plan by reading your opponent's season stats and play calling tendencies. So the first thing that we want to look at is the Giants dashboard. Um, this will give us a good idea. This tells us exactly what kind of team we're dealing with. You can see pretty quickly here that the Giants are kind of an unbalanced offense. They are ranked pretty high up in the league when it comes to throwing the ball. Um, I think they have like 295.1, I'm sorry, 341.1, sorry, reading the wrong column. So they're sixth in the league. But they're 29th in rushing at just 77.1 yards per game. You can definitely see here that they are definitely struggling on defense. They're sitting at 26 in points per game. They are sitting above 20 in both passing yards allowed and rushing yards allowed. So right off the bat, just looking at this screen, one of the things that stands out almost immediately is we need to stop the pass, and then we need to figure out a way to really continue the misery that the defense is under right now. So let's look at their main weapons. Luke Perryman is a very good quarterback. He's getting the lion's share of the snaps right now. And while he's solid, the guy we really need to worry about is not Luke Perryman, but the guy who's catching the ball, which is Floyd Hammond. He has 82 catches for 1,600 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's averaging nearly 20 yards a catch. There's another guy that we need to keep an eye on. His name is Douglas Clark. Let's see if we can bring that up here real quick because I think it's important to see Mr. Clark. He is a possession wide receiver, largely, only averaging 10.7 yards, but he does have 10 touchdowns, and he has over 100 catches on the season so far. Now, the run game is practically non-existent. David Strange is the leading rusher, and he has 650 yards on the ground. He's averaging about 4.1 yards per carry. In looking at this, you don't need to stack the box against this team. Now, one thing to keep in the back of your mind as we go through this, uh, this is a human-managed team. Even though I'm treating them like a CPU, before you take this and you think that you can run this against DWK, you need to remember he is a human. He's not going to do exactly what you want him to do. And you need to make sure that you are thinking about, will the person who is a human react to how you've been playing and do something completely different than what they've done before? And he did do this last week, actually. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind, what he did with Washington. And I'll talk about that in a second. But the other piece of it is he going to carry the trends that he has been doing into this game? Um, but let's assume again that this is a CPU and that all these things are going to be equal as we move through. And now I think what we need to really look for is how is he getting these passing yards? So let me kind of kick over to here to play analysis, a good old friend. Find the Giants, not the Jets, because the Jets are completely different. So this is where the game gets incredibly deep, and I encourage you to use this because this does help you in many regards with how do you start thinking about game plans. Looking at the season offensive play analysis, you can see that they heavily rely on play action. The top 3 plays all year have been running back out, PA long drag, PA slot dig, and then of course you have an off tackle right, which is a running play. And they predominantly run this out of spread formations. Uh, Ironically, they love to fake the run because that's what the play action is, really, even though the running game is not a strength. What he's really effectively using this for is to be able to hit people over the middle or in the flats. And he is doing a good job of that. So you need to think about that. But if we look at the most recent game that they had against Washington, go Hill, what you'll notice is not much changed other than he did bring in tight end screen into the mix. Um, so just again, from a offensive consistency, just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, where is he going to start uh, trimming his playbook? And if he does, you might want to think about tight end quick out as well as double post because those are both actually good plays. If I were DWK, I'd get rid of PA slot dig. It's not working. PA long drag as well. But at the end of the day, just keep that in the back of your mind. So what would our defensive game plan look like to counter this? How do we stop them? Because they run so much out of the spread and rely on play action and screens, we need to sit in a nickel and dime package. If you call defensive plays that prioritize pass focus and utilize zone coverage that sit in the medium routes like cover 3 or cover 4, you're going to take away those crossing and slot routes. Assume that they are going to pass the ball around 70 to 80%. They're going to use nickel. Assuming that you probably want to use nickel on first and second down, and then switch over to diamond corridor on third downs. Keep your blitzes in the 10 to 15% range. Don't send extra men as the Giants can hit quick short screens, and you'll be opening up the lanes for them. Let your front four get the pressure while your secondary blankets Hammond. Now, flipping over to the other side of the ball, let's go back here to all games and go to defense. We need to figure out how the offense is going to score. The Giants defense gives up a lot, how our offense is going to score, not ours, sorry. The Giants defense gives up a lot of yards, but they have a few playmakers. You absolutely must account for Jasper Allan. The guy has 10 sacks and 14 tackles for loss on the season so far. He's going to wreck your game plan if you leave him unblocked on the edge. Safety Charles Gold is also a tackling machine with 99 on the run. I suspect that DWK is cheating him up into the box to help try to deal with the running plays, and he's been doing a pretty good job of that. Don't forget about Jermaine Phillips and Justin McReynolds. They're both cornerbacks with top end speed, and they can definitely cover the medium to long routes. I will say that both of them are kind of underperforming given their stats, but you don't want this to be the game where that underperforming tag goes away and suddenly they are overachieving. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Don't give them easy passes. Um, when we look at the season defensive play analysis, their base identity is a 3-3-5. They run a ton of it, mostly 3-3-5 short zone and 3-3-5 wide fire links, which, by the way, is out of the blitz playbook. They also sprinkle in a 4-3 oval cover 2. They also sit in a 3-3-5. So, I'm sorry, because they sit in a 3-3-5 so often, they are inherently weak to the power run game. They're essentially begging you to run the ball right up the middle or run the ball just slightly off the tackle, between the tackle and the guards. But then again, this is where you need to be really careful and you need to look at the last game. Because what you'll see here is that DWK changed his defense in the last game. They ran a ton of 3-5 wide mic down, dime press safeties down, and 5-2 spam filter. So if DWK thinks that you're going to run the ball against you, all of these plays have something in common. They are plays that are generally and traditionally good against the run. And what this also tells me is that the coaching staff that he has is adjusting to their opponent's tendencies. If you start coming out with a heavy run formation, they will shift to a 5-2 to stop you. So in order for our offense to be effective, we need to stay balanced but exploit the weak front. Use essentially tight end, two tight end formations where you have one running back and two tight ends. You could go tight end jumbo if you wanted to force them out of that 3-3-5 nickel package. Run the ball right at Jasper Allan to tire him out. And hopefully over the course of the game, his endurance will kick in and it'll neutralize the pass rush. Think about a potential 60-65 run and have pace set slow so you can control the clock. Focus the run on the inside and the power rushing plays like I mentioned before. Once they start cheating down into that 5-2 or 3-4 base like they did against Washington, You should ensure that your playbook has the right plays to hit them over the top with deep posts and corners where the secondary ranks 20th in the league against the pass. Kind of summarize all this, right? On defense, play nickel dime. On first and second down, use quarter and dime on third down. Watch out for that spread play action that he loves to run, and double cover Floyd Hammond. On offense, run heavy sets to exploit the weak run defense and tire out Jasper Allan before he can really start to wreak havoc on your offense. If you guys found this scouting breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Draft Day Sports Pro Football 26 content. Let me know in the comments how you like to scout your opponents, and also let me know what things you'd like me to cover. Until next time, I'll see you on the grid line. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.